Hey, true believers. Today we are going over Batman 181, and this is the first appearance of Poison Ivy. Now, this is one of those facsimile reproductions. I do have an original, but I just did not want to take that out of the, out of the plastic. Plus, the way that they reprinted this one, everything's vibrant still, so we'll just go ahead and let the original rest and enjoy this reprint. And I love the cover. It explains what's going on, Trouble between the dynamic duo. Is she the cause? Beware of Poison Ivy. And you even get a double-page pinup of Batman and Robin, which I'm frustrated that the original copy that I have, someone took the poster out. But from a lot of these books from that time period, you can't really expect kids to not have done that. They wanted it on their wall. They wanted to be the cool kid. So it is what it is. Print date on this was June 1966, so this was just around the time the Adam West TV show was up and running, so Silver Age. This had a little bit of seriousness to it, but you can still kind of see some of the cheesiness of that era starting to climb into the books, and you're just like, no! Because, yeah, even though some of these books are valuable and there are some good stories, the Silver Age, at least for DC for me, was... It was bad. It was very bad in terms of storytelling. But this one, not so much. The writer was Robert Kanigher. The artist, penciler, was Sheldon Moldoff. Inks was Joe Gaila. Letters were Gasper Sardino. And the editor was Julius Schwartz. And so essentially, that this, what is it? Sensational pop art show. So very Andy Warhol, if you can believe. And these are supposed to be like the most Public Enemy's #1. So you get like Dragonfly, and you get Silken Spider and Tiger Moth. And listen to the back and forth between Dick and Bruce here. Hey, there they are, Dick. 3 of the most beautiful women in the world, and the most deadly. Stop drooling. You're too young. I can dream until I'm old enough to try to catch them, can't I? Now, one thing that I do like here is there's Dick Grayson's adolescence, so you can see, compared to how we see him as Nightwing now, where he's more mature but still kind of has that playfulness about him, you can see it here, and I'm glad that a lot of writers still make sure that that's part of Dick's core character, that he is essentially a kid at heart. And you can see where all that kind of originated here in these pages. Now, what's kind of corny is Ivy comes on the scene, and says that she's the most, Public Enemy #1. It's just that her crimes are so perfect that she can never get caught. So she wants to commit essentially the imperfect crime. And she goes, here's my first, she immediately kind of falls in love with Bruce Wayne. But here she throws a flashbang. Everyone's blinded, and she goes, oh, I forgot to tell you, boys. I'm not quite ready to be taken to the police. I've got a few imperfect crimes to commit. Just so you know, Poison Ivy is the real #1. and the thing, I think what bugged me the most about this is that they here during this time period they had the Comic Code Authority, so they couldn't get to the levels where we are now. So you couldn't have Ivy squishing a man's head off with her plants, etc., so forth. So they had to kind of keep it, again, kind of light-hearted. That's why the Joker initially was supposed to be killed off, because he was supposed to be a one-off, and if you read it, it was really bad. But I'm glad that Denny O'Neil and Neil Adams brought him back in the form that he is. And here, everyone's blinded, including Bruce Wayne. He changes right in the middle of everyone. It's the first time I've ever changed into Batman in public. No one can see me. And he's like, no time for my sight to return. I got to go after Poison Ivy. And he runs into an open elevator shaft. That's what I mean by corniness. The Bruce Wayne that we all know now would have had some sort of contacts that would have protected his eyes at all times, and he would have willingly jumped through the elevator shaft just to avoid time, instead of looking like a coward here. But, they do a good way of showing how he's able to catch himself mid-fall and still make it out the other side. But just the fact that they made him look kind of doofy was kind of annoying. The artwork, as you can see, I love that this was 1966. This was way before digital art. So here you had to think about anatomy. And just seeing this traditional artwork in its pure form like this, I think that's what I enjoyed the most. Because Batman looks, you can kind of see where the look of the Batman really started to come in. But again, here we go with the Silver Age stuff. So Robin's like, what's that look in your eyes, Batman? What? Oh, I was thinking of how cute Poison Ivy is. I hate to put such a beautiful doll behind bars. And therein lies the 60s and 70s, folks. Bruce would not be like that. I like the way now, where more modern writers, especially between Batman and Catwoman, before they, I don't know, are they married still or are they not married? I don't want to talk about that. But anyway, how they, it was sort of this playful back and forth. You never seen Bruce Wayne or Batman smile and thinking, oh, I'm thinking about how cute she is. It's like, God, dude, you're supposed to be the world's greatest detective and you already have, Dick Grayson as your ward here. You're not some drooling high school kid. And so anyway, the climax is kind of dumb. Ivy, again, is fighting for public enemy number one, so she finds a way to pit everyone against each other. And the build-up, it's so silly that you can't help but laugh. You're just thinking, wow, this hurts my brain a little bit. But nonetheless, I like that here, even though they were still kind of corny with Ivy, you can see the potential that she has that she would later flourish into, pun intended. Now this story, again, I'm glad that I have the first appearance of Poison Ivy, but this story wasn't so much for me. There's a backup story here after, so let me get past here. If you guys want to see what the poster looked like, which I think is absolutely beautiful. Very vibrant colors, gorgeous look there. This one, The Perfect Crime. This to me was more Batman. As what happens is there's this like a group of detectives essentially that are part of this like murder mystery writing of Gotham. And one of the main characters, what was her name? Hold on, I'll find it. K-Day. Yeah, that's a weird name. She comes in saying that, she's getting ready to win the Sherlock Holmes Award for this book called The Stars Do Kill. And she's like, fellow members, I didn't write this book. And so everyone's like, what? And look at Jim Gordon. He looks so derpy. And then just seeing Batman sit around like this in a meeting is, again, just kind of derpy. But again, that was the 70s. And so she tries to explain how she was not the writer of this book. She was on vacation. Someone turned in the manuscript under her name. But then all of a sudden, this brooch on her necklace says, you don't have to worry about accepting that award, Ms. Day. For at the exact moment at 10 o'clock when the award is about to be presented to you, you will die. And so Gordon jumps into action in, I don't know. I'm so used to the way Gordon looks now where he's like this rugged, very cynical, but still has a little bit of hope in him cop. Instead of looking like, again, I think they're trying to make him look more like his TV counterpart, which don't get me wrong, for the 60s, I did enjoy that version of Commissioner Gordon. I was never much of a fan, though, of Chief O'Hara because again, it was like the most slightest inconvenience where you better call the Cape Crusader. And it's like, dude, are you that bumbling of a cop? Anyway, we're going to get out the Adam West stuff. But again, that brought to mind. So all the cops, the Detective Society members, whatever they're called, I don't remember off the top of my head, are like, well, we'll protect him this day at the awards. And of course, the Dark Knight sets out on his own. And here, this feels more like the Batman that we know now. He goes into K-Day's apartment, does some detective work, and actually is to find out what's really going on. And then we get these gorgeous these fight moments. And this reminds me of, what issue was it? The first issue of Batman Year 2 in Detective Comics, where those thugs they were like on a stealing, spree. They come back to their apartment and Batman comes in, and all you see in silhouette is how he beats the crap out of him. And here, I feel this was sort of the groundwork for that, because it talks about how quick Batman is and how he's able to just quickly disarm these people, dodge the bullets, and put them all down, grabs a drape and is able to use it kind of like as a bullfighter's cape. Just some really cool ideas, and I'm glad that, at least for the first appearance of Poison Ivy, with a pretty good backup story, it feels like a Batman comic before the Silver Age was like in full swing and got super cheesy. I'm glad that this actually felt like a detective story, and the artwork overall was, for this time period, without Photoshop or any type of digital medium, just having to know anatomy, color palettes, I'm damn impressed. And to be able to have an original copy of this book, and then to have this facsimile so that I can share it with y'all, I'm a happy camper to have both of these. Speaking of which, if you guys do want a copy of the facsimile, last time I was at my local comic shop, I did see a couple of these still. So if you're wanting to have at least some semblance of this in your collection, definitely head out there and grab one. If you've enjoyed this review, we really would appreciate if you take a moment to hit like, share, and subscribe. Helps the club channel more than you could possibly know. And if you wouldn't mind hitting that fancy little Ivy bell next to subscribe, that way as we continue to upload content, you guys will get notified. Come to the channel, and we love talking with you all and hearing your thoughts and feedback down in the comments below, or our social media pages, which I'll make sure to leave the links down in the description. So with all that said, thank you so much for stopping by. Hope you all continue to have an absolutely amazing day reading, and happy hunting, true believers.